Hi, my name is Jay. I'm your designated art friend, and welcome to my channel. So, what have I been up to? I've kind of been honestly recovering. I feel like academia is traumatic. For some people, they can do like 5 degrees back to back and they just like continue to live their life. For me, I just feel like every time I go to school and I graduate, it just does something to my mind and to my spirit. I feel like there's a level of academia that just demands that you're constantly second guessing yourself. Like you can't trust yourself, especially like in a white institution. Like you cannot trust yourself. You cannot rely on your intuition and certain methods that I think, obviously I learned new methods for research, but I feel like it was so traumatic because I literally had to like reject my intuition over and over and over and over again. And I feel like sometimes I just need time to let it cook. And because of the whole concept of like everything is structured around deadlines, you can't let it cook. You can't let it cook. You know, that tenderism you're going for, you want to leave the meat on the grill for a couple of hours, let it get nice and soft and tender. You can't do that. You have 20 minutes to finish your meal and serve it to the guests. You know, this is not the cookout. This is MasterChef. The standards are completely different. It's been over 5 months now of tattooing and tattooing people, drawing tattoos, kind of establishing myself in Lagos as a tattoo artist to the point that like, you know, I'm getting customers based off the word of mouth and my work is speaking for itself as opposed to like really like trying to convince people, oh, come and get a tattoo from me. We've kind of passed that point. I'm in a better place now because I feel like I'm meeting people in the wild and they're like, oh, you're the one that does tattoos. And I'm like, yes, I do tattoos. Now the main challenge I'm having is incorporating my tattoo practice in with my already existing practice as an artist and a crafts person, because beyond like tattooing I also do candles. I do handmade candles. I do art prints, and then I also do my paintings and my sculptures. I'll say that's more like of a fine arts, like high arts, like art galleries, all that kind of stuff. And then like just the day to day, like this is my business and this is how I bring in money day to day, week by week. I think it's important to have those two channels as an artist, like just the everyday client and customer that is going to spend, you know, it's a service that you're providing that's going to spend some money, but like they're not necessarily in the art industry. They're not necessarily collecting art because they're trying to like invest or something. You know when rich people buy art, they are doing it for a different reason than when like your mom buys, a small figurine at the market. It's like it's two different thought processes that are going into buying that painting or work of art, essentially. And being able to create room for different kinds of customers within my business, I think is wonderful. I know nowadays everybody's shifting towards just like making things for the super rich and the elites, and like everybody just wants to do luxury products, but I'm not really sure that's the route I want to go. I always want to be for the people. So that is kind of where I am at now, right now. But recently I feel like I usually, when I'm like painting, I usually go from I don't know what to do, like there are no pictures in my brain, more like just emotions, formless emotions that I need time to process. And if I try and go to the canvas before I've processed these emotions, I'm producing rubbish. And then just out of nowhere, bam, I'm like, I need to go to the art store. I need 20 canvases. I need to paint everything in my head today. And that's usually how it goes. Like I usually start all my paintings at the same time. Like everything comes out at once, and then slowly like building up on the paintings until the paintings are complete. But I usually just like it's really just like a tsunami of inspiration, like months and months and months of grueling contemplation, and then suddenly, one day of actualization. But aside from the paintings, which I will share some of them, I've really been fascinated with the crane. Before I was talking a lot about the catfish and the dragonfly, but now the crane has kind of entered my consciousness or my subconscious. I'm actually not sure which of these are the correct term, but just in terms of like, I feel like for me, the crane represents conflict. Especially when you look at the neck of the crane, there's a way that it moves where you can see that it's ready for action at any moment. It's ready to take off. I feel like the way the world is right now, everything just feels so unsettled and unsettling. And so it also shows up in the way I actually choose to paint the crane. I don't necessarily, there's a gracefulness, to the way I paint the cranes, but there's also like a certain level of, there's like something building up, not only within the crane, but around in the environment. And that's kind of what I want, the story I want to tell, just like this idea of things are building up, anxiety, stress, but also you always gotta slay, you always gotta look beautiful while that happens. Like the end of the world is going to be very beautiful. The sun exploding and expanding is going to be a beautiful sight. I'm sure a meteorite falling out of the sky is going to be wonderful, 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 miraculous sight to see. So I think maybe that's where I'm at, like just kind of fascination with the grotesque or romanticization. I feel like maybe I'm romanticizing the chaos and crisis that we are currently in. Moving on from that, I bought a bike. My own bike because I miss riding an actual bicycle in Amsterdam. So I got an exercise bike. Love it, love it. I also love that I can read books, watch videos while pretending like I still live in Amsterdam. I think that's the one thing that I really miss about Amsterdam, and so being able to like bring that into my day-to-day life has really like, okay, yeah, I can cope. I mean, I'm also just like, I'm trying to push myself to apply for things because I know, as much as I'm shy and I don't really want to be seen, I know that that's what I need to do. I spent the first half of the year avoiding these applications, but I think once you enter April, May, I think that's where my energy comes back to start these applications. So I want to apply for a couple of Nigerian prizes and residencies, and then maybe like one or two international residencies for maybe this year and next year, and then just take it easy after that. But yeah, I think that's the end of my video. I don't want it to go on for too long. I just wanted to do a quick update. So if you've been here this whole time, thank you for always showing up, and if you're new here, welcome. I hope that you allow yourself to visit my old videos, watch all of them. They're really nice. I think I have a interesting personality, but I also think that like I have some videos that are like very artistically edited and you might enjoy those. But yeah, that's everything. Feel free, and by feel free, I'm begging you to please subscribe, turn on my notifications, leave a comment, tell me your thoughts. If you live in Lagos, say hi. If you know me, say hi. I always say hi back. But yeah, I mean, feel free to reach out, but also let me know your thoughts. If there's anything that I said that has resonated with you, let me know what you think. Yeah, I hope to be back soon. If I'm not back soon, I will be back in a couple of months. Love y'all and have a good day.